All right, friends, how are you today? Hopefully everyone's enjoying this solar eclipse energy on the 10th. Aaron here, bringing your daily horoscope for Friday, the 11th of June, 2021. We still have the Sun and Mercury at 20 degrees in the sign of Gemini, the North Node in Gemini. We have the Moon moving out of Gemini today into the sign of Cancer. So the Moon's moving home, which is good. There's a nostalgic feeling. So this eclipse can be shaking things up for us, and we might be, in a sense, retreating, emotionally retreating, or we could be disappointed about something. There could be information that came up during the eclipse, or things happened during the eclipse time that maybe made us aware of something. The light bulb clicked on, turned on, something became illuminated, part of our own shadow perhaps. Are we prepared as much as we need to be? Are we doing enough groundwork, preparation work before we get into something? Are we pushing the carriage before the horse? Mercury retrograde in Gemini the Sun. This is mental, this is communication, this is information. Are we making sure that we're reading everything over to make sure that we get whatever we need to get there? I should be on a plane right now to Peru, truthfully, and my flight got pushed because there was information I didn't know that I needed. So there's a little bit of delay. I'm still headed out in a few hours, but crazy as it is. So I thought I was free from this Mercury retrograde eclipse, but it's nope. There's something I overlooked, and now I missed a flight, so it's costing me several hours. Anyway, that's me. What's going on for you? We still have the Moon and the Sun at 20 degrees of Gemini, or the Sun and Mercury at 20 degrees of Gemini. Moon moving into the sign of Cancer. Around 9 a.m., the Moon is going to create a trine over there to Jupiter. Abundance, easy flow, trine, easy flow of energy between water, Pisces, and water, Moon. So we're looking at that line right there. Easy flow of energy. Now this is about our sense of security. Are we maintaining, what are we doing to create our safe space, our safe place, our safe home? Are we retreating? This is an interesting alignment. Are we retreating? Can we retreat? How do I say this? So this is like saying if we have a confrontation with somebody or something, and our safe space to come back to where we are, right? So if there's confrontation or communication or something that's if we want to protect ourselves, protect our energy, protect our emotions, protect our well-being, sometimes to say, okay, I need to evade from this. I need to go to my safe space, my safe spot where I feel secure, and then come back and revisit this. Is that safe space that we're entering, is that going and getting high? I'm going to go smoke and hit a joint, and then I'm going to reassess this. I'm going to go do some breathing and come back and assess this. I'm going to go do some yoga. I'm going to go retreat and play some Sudoku. I'm going to go watch TV and get some rest and come back and visit this tomorrow. Or are we just trying to not revisit it at all? So there can be, what is our safe space that we're creating for ourselves to honor ourselves, which is an important thing. But then it's like, are we using this too much? Are we abusing our safe space too much? And can we, so it's like, if we're at work and it's like, okay, well, I'm not leaving. Maybe there's something happened at 10 o'clock in the morning and I can't leave until 5 p.m. So it's like, can I take a moment, to meditate internally? Can I take a moment and connect with self, source, spirituality, my connection with the cosmos? Can I make that connection and that be my safe space? Resting can be lying down. Resting can also be seated up in a meditative position. And it's just about finding that comfort and discomfort. This is Uranus and Taurus right now. But this Moon making that connection to Jupiter, this might be saying like we're running away and we're escaping when we should be present, we should be here. So how can we find that common ground that's just like, okay, I'm present for this conversation that needs to be had. I don't need to run away. I don't need to go back and go in my little bubble before I can properly carry on and continue to have this conversation. And we've got the Moon. This is Venus, excuse me, not the Moon. Venus creating this quincunx to Saturn and creating this quincunx to the south node. So this is about our feelings and wanting to hide. And Saturn is saying, look, if we want this growth as a spiritual human being, if we want this growth as a person, as an individual, we have to know our strength and our authority in being the authority, in being the boss, and I mean that in a gentle way, in our group and in society. Meaning we're no longer taking the child's approach. We're learning, we're upping our game. We're no longer taking the child, adolescent or whatnot approach to this. We're taking okay, I'm an adult, I'm a department head, I'm the top tier of my, this is a manager's conversation. This isn't a manager-employee conversation, so I have to step up and be a manager and communicate as a manager, as a boss. And I'm speaking with other bosses, not subordinates, not people beneath me, but people as equals. So we have to have these conversations. There's something else too that's coming up just as I'm chatting about it. I'll show you the moon's trajectory through Cancer today too. Eventually, at the end of the day, connecting here with Venus, which is a very lovely connection. I mean, technically it's happening at early Saturday morning, but depending where you're at in the world, this is the energy that we're moving toward the rest of the day. So then the moon as well is going to be quincunx, the south node, quincunx Saturn, which again, this is just about us stepping up. Maybe we don't see ourselves as the boss. Maybe we don't see ourselves as that position of power or the position of authority. We have to let go of that old thinking and just step into our power. And we have, there's just things that we have to do. As much as we want to evade and be in our little safe space, we don't always have time to do that. We don't always have, it's important that we take time to do that, but there's not always the right place or time. This is like saying, it's like always taking time to meditate or to do yoga or something, but it's just like, okay, well, we have a business meeting and our client's in from out of country and they're in, so it's time to have this meeting. And during this meeting now, something's happening where stress levels are rising or there's confusion happening, Mercury retrograde, and we thought you had this and this isn't done. This isn't saying, okay, guys, give me 5 minutes. I'm going to go do some breath work and some yoga and do some exercises and start, doing push-ups in the middle of this meeting. It's just like, no, we are prepared. We do the breath work and the yoga and the meditation and the exercise or the healthy thing in preparation before we get to the meeting. So that way when we're in the meeting, our presence is there and we're focused. We don't have to evade and run away to go take care of something else because we've already done the prep work. So this is all like connecting with this eclipse because it's about information, and communication and leveling up, this boss level of authority and communication. Something else that I think is really fun and interesting is, leading up into this eclipse, a lot of this has to deal with communication, information understanding. And a lot of this eclipse is about entering us into this new age of Aquarius, this age of knowing. And there's not only Jupiter in Aquarius, throughout this year, it's teeter-tottering or tick-tocking from Pisces back into Aquarius. Saturn in Aquarius right now, 2024, Pluto is going to be in Aquarius. So we have all of these things pushing us into this age of Aquarius, this digital age, this new revolution. And, to look back, it's like the first flying plane was 1903. The first commercial plane flying was like 1919 and then 1920, and they got closed down. And it wasn't until 1928 in Arizona that commercial flights were really a thing, international flights. So we're talking about not even 100 years of flying between countries. So going from the age of Pisces, the age of belief, into the age of knowing, the age of Aquarius, where we're at now, where we are with technology is huge. We're still young. We're still very young in our place of understanding and knowing and connecting with all the different people, the tribes, the societies in this world, and really seeing where we're all at collectively. So it's coming right back to this eclipse and saying, like, we really know nothing. We know very, very, very little. And again, it's been what? Boats and walking or horseback and whatnot until 100 years ago. So it's like we're only just breaking the tip of the iceberg as far as information, technology, communication, understanding different cultures better, understanding how different tribes or cultures bring healing into their environment or what they view as successful. it's just like when we start to broaden out our horizon and not just be so focused on just this one thing. And that's another thing with the eclipse and the moon going into Cancer, and specifically with Saturn making that quincunx to Saturn that's happening between Venus and the moon later in the day. This is really important. Is it's like, law of attraction. If we're only talking about what is, because again, this eclipse is a lot about communication. If we're only talking about what is, then the more we get is what is. The more of what is what we get. The same thing. If we're talking about how we don't have enough money to pay our bills, the more of not having enough money to pay our bills, or not being able to pay our bills is what we get. So this is like taking that Saturn and Aquarius approach, the Uranus in traditional Taurus approach, and saying, let's not look at just what is, let's take a bigger picture. Let's see the grandiose vision of this thing, the big picture, and where we're headed or what we're doing. And if I'm just talking about the day, if I'm just talking about the problems of what happened at work or what is going on, and not having my mindset on that bigger picture, then the more of what is I'm going to get, and the less of the bigger picture I'm going to be able to align myself to get. And so when more of this like erasing and letting go of this older past, older ways of looking and viewing the world, and stepping into this new place, and it might be uncomfortable to go a whole day without complaining. It might be uncomfortable to go a whole day without just talking about the current event or something, but to talk about what we're trying to accomplish or where we're trying to go. That's a huge turnaround point. A huge aspect of this eclipse. So hopefully everyone's enjoying their eclipse day. Hopefully everyone enjoys the moon retreating into Cancer, and us kind of doing some more soul searching and digging as more information's coming up and being illuminated from this eclipse, and really preparing us and getting us on our path of where we need to be, the right place at the right time. My friends, have a beautiful start to your weekend. As always, thank you for hanging out with me. Hopefully the next time I see you, I will be in Peru.